People want stronger relationships, they want stronger communities, and they want their kids to succeed in sports. This podcast is a place for honest conversations, real stories, and practical guidance, all centered on helping kids grow through sports. If you're looking for stronger relationships, stronger community, and athletes who grow not just in skill, but in character, you're in the right place.
YSF forevermore.
CBMS is proud to be a continuing sponsor of YSF.
Welcome to From the Sidelines, Youth Sports Foundation podcast. I'm Jim Miller, founder of the Youth Sports Foundation. Joining me today, as always, is Aaron Meyer, our podcast producer and social media specialist. At the Youth Sports Foundation, we believe youth sports is more than wins and losses. It's about character, community, and helping kids grow through sports. Today's episode is about YSF Cheer, and we are super excited to have our guest, Tara Woodley from Denver, Iowa on. Tara is our YSF Cheer Coordinator, and we're excited to have you on, Tara. Welcome to the show. We've got a couple questions we want to ask you, and hopefully at the end we will learn more about cheerleading in general. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tara.
Awesome. Glad to be here. So to give you an idea of like where I come from, where's my background, is I started way little at another youth program, and then I moved from California. I moved to Iowa. I cheered all through middle school, all through high school, and then I eventually got to work for a national cheerleading company called National Cheerleaders Association. I worked there for 5 years teaching cheerleading across the Midwest, and then I did some coaching at some high schools, but I'm now currently the head high school cheer coach for Denver. I started up their middle school program, and then this is our second year doing YSF for Denver as well.
Awesome. So what made you want to be a cheer coach? Just being a cheerleader, and you're like, hey, someday I want to be a cheer coach.
I really love the fundamentals of cheerleading. I love being able to teach those basic skills, the body mechanics, and everything about cheerleading. I love cheerleading history. And to be able to teach that and then see the light bulbs go off and see other cheerleaders fall in love with the sport, that is exactly why I do the things that I do. So
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Cheerleading is a sport. Some people think if it doesn't have a ball, a bat, a glove, a hockey stick, it's not a sport. But cheerleading really is a sport. And there's a lot of competitions around the country. And I think, we've watched on ESPN, and I think those are more of a cheer dance than the cheerleading, correct? If I'm not wrong.
there's tons of divisions, but yeah. So the cheerleading competitions that you would see on TV, those are max level, and hopefully one day we'll hear our little YSF cheerleaders going on those floors. Yeah.
That would be exciting. That'd be exciting.
Tara, I would love to know, let's pretend I'm a brand new cheerleader. I come out for the season. What can I expect on day one of a practice? I hope I'm using the right term. And then, what do I get to do for my first season of cheer?
So for what I can honestly only talk about my program at Denver,
Okay.
but for our cheerleaders, they get to cheer at games. And then we also do our showcase. That's at the end of the year. We're hosting our own at Denver this year. But our cheerleaders, their first practice, they get to, they work on motions, they work on jumps, and they work on the very basics of stunting. So they're starting to work on the stunting progressions and learning what it is to do proper lifting and body mechanics. And a lot of fun. We play lots of games, but we have so much fun just working on cheers, doing dances, playing games in between. So yeah, practices I like practices way more than games sometimes.
Tara, you had mentioned body mechanics. For listeners who don't know what that is, I don't know what that is. I mean, I can guess what you're talking about, but could you give us a little bit of information about that?
So body mechanics would kind of be just like how you're lifting, how you're working your body. It's exactly what you're thinking it is. Yeah. Making sure your chest is up, lifting with your legs, all that fun stuff.
So someone who's never been involved in cheer, what might surprise them about the experience in cheerleading? What's the experience that's going to surprise me the most?
What you'd be surprised with cheerleading is cheerleading's way more than just the rah-rah on the sidelines. They get involved with the community. They're looking at the game, not just as the, "Hey, we like this cheer, let's cheer." It should be based off of, what's happening in the game. They should be able to know when a first down, a touchdown, offense and defense are. They're also this cheerleading is physically demanding. So they're jumping around, they're doing stunts, they're cheerleaders are going to be doing some tumbling skills as well on the sidelines. So it's definitely not just oh, here's just this little program you're going to sign your kid up to and they're going to stand in front of the crowd for a couple hours during a football game. It's way more than that.
So, what's the hardest part about cheer then when it comes to what you're trying to build into these athletes and get them to understand?
I think the hardest part is to let them know that they are an athlete, but they are also performing at the same time. Because not one time where you like, oh, great job, football player. No, make sure you wave to the crowd to let them know, like, get them excited.
Yeah.
So these cheerleaders have to do stunts, they have to do jumps, but then they also have to make sure they're pumping up the crowd to get them excited for the football game. So that always kind of throws some kids off because they're like, I just want to stunt or I just want to do this physical
Okay.
challenging thing. And you're like, but you have to smile and wave at the same time.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets a little confusing as well. But most kids love it because most kids like performing, even if they don't like public speaking.
So, it's like two jobs.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
What's the biggest changes that you see from a cheer kid from day one to the end of the season?
All day long is the confidence because kids comes in, they don't want to look at you in the face, they don't know how to move their body. But by the end of the season, they're confident about the cheers that they're doing. They're having fun with the cheers that they're doing because they know them, they memorize them, muscle memory. And then they just are able to start looking out in those crowds and start connecting with their audience and being able to, spirit back a little bit more. So
It's
yeah, I love seeing
amazing
the
when I
confidence.
watch cheerleaders, and they know all these different cheers, and I'm thinking, man, I couldn't remember one of them. And they've got, I mean, how many cheers does a typical let's go up from YSF, a varsity, how many different cheers do you guys do in a game?
During a game, that kind of varies. I would say my kids are in a little bit of a lower scale. I like to keep my cheerleaders knowing at least 25 to 30 cheers.
Wow.
That's a
I have
lower scale?
that's
20
a lower scale. Yes. When I took over Denver, their previous coach had a list of 80. Um, and I was like, this is great that you guys are so knowledgeable. But I like cheers. I like actually repeating cheers because then you're right. The crowd learns those
Right.
cheers because we've
Yep.
done them so many times that they actually start calling them back at us. So
That's
yeah.
nice.
Tara,
That's
what
excellent.
makes a good cheer squad?
I would say those that really know how to connect with their crowd and be able to feed off of what their crowd is feeling and be able to watch the game to be able to know what's needed. So if they're right there at that touchdown, I want those girls to be bringing up that energy. If it's a really close score, they should be jumping around. If it's defense, they need to be cheering appropriate defense cheers. Um,
So, it
so that
sounds like
really
they need
makes
to
a
know
difference.
about football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Football is a big thing, which is funny because last season we were teaching them first down, which now I'm going to draw a blank, but it was throwing them off because I kept saying, okay, first down, this is what our first down is. And then our announcer kept calling it, you're going to have to help me out, Jem. It's not, it's also, a first down is also called a what? They were calling it something. Now I can't remember. But it was they were
Yes.
calling it something else, and it was throwing my
He was calling
cheerleaders
it
off.
something other than a first down.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, I can't remember what it was called. I'm gonna have to think
Moving the
about it, but
sticks.
I don't
I
know.
mean, they move the sticks when you get a first down.
First
And
down,
sometimes you'll hear the
or
announcer
maybe
say,
yeah, they were wording it something, but it threw all my cheerleaders off, and they were like, "But they
a
Oh,
need
new
to
set of
say first
downs.
down."
Or, huh.
Yeah,
I guess I don't
I
know.
can't remember what that is
It's got
now.
me
Well, yeah,
stumped
that's
too. I
gonna
can't, if you
get me,
think of
but
it, email me so I can
yeah,
know. I'll probably go,
I
oh
So,
know.
yeah, they do.
so not
Yeah.
only do they have to learn these 25 plus cheers, they've got to understand what's going on in the game, and they
Mhm.
need to be able to interact with the crowd and focus on their own body mechanics. I mean, that's a lot.
And then don't forget that they also do they do halftime routines as well. So these girls are
Oh,
running
yeah.
dances
So
and
that's not the
performing.
dance team, that's the cheerleaders, or do they both? Because in our high school here in Mustine, uh, it seems like we have a dance squad, then we have
Mhm.
a cheer squad, and the dance squad does the halftime show.
Right. So it all depends on high school. So like for Denver, our band is like top tier. So they take over our whole halftime.
Yep,
But for YSF, our YSF cheerleaders perform during our halftime
that's
routines.
awesome. That's
So
great.
they get to learn dances. They had a fun like wipeout song last year that they had so much fun doing. Um and then yeah, sometimes during depending on what it is, our cheerleaders get to perform during halftime or like pregame is what we do sometimes. Mhm.
That's fun. That's awesome. I love to see that. Do you encourage your cheerleaders to do other sports, participate in other sporting activities? And do you have a lot that do? And I know we're talking you're the high school coach, so we're talking
Mhm.
high school. And I know we said we're going to talk about YSF, but, and do you encourage cheerleaders to do other sports?
Yes, if we can make it work with schedule, we definitely encourage them. But volleyball is huge in Denver. I know it's big in the Cedar Valley just in general, but we have back-to-back championships at our Denver high school. So everybody likes to do volleyball. And so that's during the fall, at least that's our challenge is trying to work with volleyball. And we even have volleyball for AAU. So they start them, I think, in third and fourth grade with volleyball. So we always try to work with them. Plus, we like them to have other skills because that means they're staying active off season. That means they're staying active in other things as well, and developing other skills. So we want them multi skills.
Let's talk about the showcase that you mentioned that's going to happen in Denver for the
Hmm.
YSF age group. Can you explain a little bit about that in case we've got some other coordinators that watch this podcast? What does the day look like?
So for our Cyclone invite, I'm so excited to do this. It's pretty much a showcase. So our YSF cheerleaders or any cheerleading team in the Iowa area or Iowa State the area. They can put together whatever routine they want and they can come and perform it. We're gonna have a full competition mat, but it's gonna be our wrestling mats. They get to come, they can do a cheer, they can put together a dance, they can do whatever they feel comfortable with, they can come and do it. On top of that, we have a jump contest, we have a basket toss contest for straight rides for our younger guys. We have tumbling showcase. We're going to do lots of fun activities. So it's not just going to be a here, come perform. It's going to be a lot more interaction.
Oh,
We're
that's
going to try
fun.
to get a college team to come and perform as
Oh,
well. We have
cool.
some
Oh,
vendors,
that's
concession stand. It's going to be a day.
oh,
I'm
that's
So
really
maybe I
excited.
exciting.
missed it. When is the showcase, or do you know time of year?
October 3rd. Signups are open right now. So if you already know you want to come, love to have it. If you have any questions, anybody who's watching this has any questions, reach out to me. We want an opportunity for cheerleaders to come out and do what they like to do without having to worry about a football game on top of that. Plus,
That's
they're
nice.
get to be the main focus of that day. So,
Yeah.
And are you just
mhm.
doing youth, or do you want this sent out to as many youth cheerleading programs you can get, or just
Anybody is
YSF?
welcome. We would
Okay.
love youth because we love YSF. We love
Yeah.
the little cheerleaders. They're the best. But we have our high school team is coming to perform. Our middle school is performing at the same time. We've got a couple high school kids or high school teams that are coming to perform. So it's just there to get those little jitters out. Definitely. Iowa, their ICCA state championship is the first weekend in November. So that's kind of
Okay.
used. So then that way those are competing at state get to get all those jitters out. But also, if you're not looking to compete, this is a great time for you just to come and show off your skills. So,
Do you see a lot of high school teams competing in that Iowa competition in November? Would you say most of the high schools in the state send their cheer squads to that?
yes, that stage competition is a big deal. We
Okay.
had, if I remember right, our Denver team competed in the game time spirit division in the 2A because they do it by the classes. We had, I want to say, like 25, if not more, teams that we were competing against. So we have a lot of teams. There's a lot of schools that come and compete. So
Awesome. That's great.
competition
That is
cheer is really
great.
big. Hmm.
Is there one cheer girl that you can remember that really just stuck in your mind after she was on your cheer squad, whether that be at the youth level or the high school level that just really stuck in your mind?
Yes, there is a girl, there's a couple, because each kid, I just like getting to really know the kids and getting to see them grow. There is a couple, there's one in YSF. She really likes cheerleading, but she would have so much fun during the dances. She really anytime we did a dance, she just really embodied it. She knew the counts, she showed up prepared, and then she made sure that because I was like, man, if you know this, get up in front, let people show. And she just did the facial. She really got into it. So that makes it fun for everybody to watch. She just had there was even cheers that we were doing. We were doing the 6-7 cheer because that was the big thing last year.
Yeah.
And she got into that and she was giggling through the whole cheer. And how do you not love watching that little girl just giggle because she's having so much fun? That's what you're here for, is to see kids. And then she's a middle school, but she's going into high school next year. But she really loves cheerleading, and I just love watching her cheer because she's so excited to come. She's so excited to be in front of the crowd, but she's also nervous. And you can see it in her, see it kind of a little bit, but she when she gets in front of the team, she hides it, or in front of the crowd, she hides it very well. But you can tell that she pushes herself really hard to be out in the front of the team, to do the skills that she wants to and she's always pushing herself to do more. So you just can't ask for a better athlete to be able to just want to be there and want to continue to challenge themselves. So
That's
yeah.
fun. We had, I know our YSF cheer coach had the girls do push-ups, and I was on the field monitoring that. I was just visiting. I try and go around to a lot of different spots on Sunday. Just happened to be in Mustang. I was walking by, and they're doing push-ups, and I just kind of had to laugh. But I stood there, and when they got done, I just told them, I gave them all high fives. I thought, that was awesome, girls. You guys all did 7 push-ups because they had scored 7 points. And I'm like, that's awesome. That was so much fun to see. And they were excited to do it. But I told the coach, we may not want to go too high if we score, 7. That's a lot of push-ups for these young kids. So
hey, maybe that's where you get the crowd participation.
Maybe a couple moms and dads can come down and do them with them. So
make the dad that yells at the refs to come on and do the push-ups.
Do you get a lot of good participation from your parents at the youth level?
Yes, we get lots of parents that are there. We have a cheer that's it's just everybody rumble, but it's you really get into it. And oh man, we have some parents that will stand up and do the motions with us.
That's
and
awesome.
That makes it even more fun because then the cheerleaders get to see their dads stand up and do it, so they start giggling. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
We're really
That's
lucky.
Great. I love that. That is great.
So Jim,
yes.
If somebody's listening to this and they don't have cheer in their community, what do they do to get it started?
Well, they need to just call our office. It's on our website, the phone number, but contact us. We'll get you in touch with your regional director, who will ultimately get you in touch with Tara. If they're calling this late, we can always get you in next year. So it's one of our biggest growing programs right now is our cheer. The showcase would be awesome. They can go, but it's one of our biggest programs growing right now, and we're just super excited about it. So yeah.
Tara, what makes a good cheer program, and what encouragement do you have for somebody who wants to start being a coordinator for cheer?
So if you want to be a coordinator for cheer, the first thing I say is talk to other coaches that are in the space. Create that partnership with other coaches, because being able to talk to them and ask them how they run and ask them their experience, that's always a positive. I have a really great friend that's starting the Waverly YSF. So we've been in communication. Hey, how do you do practices? How do you do this?
Sure.
That's always fun. And then to make a good cheer squad is just to be able to teach them those fundamentals, teach them the stuff that they can grow on. But then I also make sure that it's fun. Make sure they're falling in love with the sport of cheer. But then also the greatest part about it is they get to fall in love with football on top of cheerleading. They get to learn so much more than just one sport. So
it goes hand in hand.
If you're ever, yes, it goes hand in hand, and the knowledge is there. So yeah, you're looking into doing the program. It's definitely YSF is a great place to start a youth program. So yeah.
We do have a Facebook page dedicated to our cheer coaches and our cheer coordinators, where they can come to that Facebook page, talk to each other, bounce ideas off. And as always, we want pictures. We want to showcase the girls on our website, show people what they're doing, how good they're performing. So super excited about the season for you and all the other cheer girls. And This year, some are getting uniforms, which is a big deal. And I want to explain. They used to just do T-shirts and shorts. Some are still doing it. But now we're going to the actual cheer uniforms. They're going to be professional, Aaron. So
Hey, they are athletes.
They are athletes. No different than our football players, right?
Yeah.
So, well, thanks again to Tara Woodley for joining us today. We appreciate your time, your talent, everything you do for YSF. Thanks to all of our listeners today. Well, Emma Steele, our intern for the communications department. Where can people find us and hear about the Youth Sports Foundation and our podcast?
You can follow the Youth Sports Foundation on Facebook and Instagram at Youth Sports Foundation, and check out our YouTube channel for full episodes and clips.
Wonderful. Thank you again for joining us on the From the Sidelines podcast, the Youth Sports Foundation.